blood of the innocent.
Carpet Day!
I just want you to stop saying odd shit.
Party's over.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
I am your mother. Everyone you love around you dies.
This is a way of life. Is it dead?
Prime time, bitch.
I worship Satan. Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
I can't believe that just fucking happened. Yeah, boy.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast Downstairs. We are just three weirdos locked in this basement. We love horror. We love all things horror. We got a lot to say about that, but first, we're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves. I have been gifted a relic that was left in my house, and I don't know where it came from, but apparently when you blow into it, it summons a podcast? I don't know. And I'm Glenn.
Oh, well, I'm just barking at how excited I am to spend this time with you guys. Just like such an innovative thing we've created from the point of view that may not be seen normally. And really, I'm just ready to yip yip hooray on this one. I'm Claudio.
That was fucking good.
I'm just still so mad at myself for not bringing in the literal death whistle that we all have for this intro, for these movies that we're going to be talking about today. But instead, I'll borrow a line from my favorite of the three we're going to discuss and say that I will not suffer in silence. And my name is Joe.
Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah. All right, so we challenged ourselves and we were like, all right, we want to do like another like genre dive. No, let's not. We couldn't decide on a genre.
Couldn't decide what to do.
I love that you said we've challenged ourselves.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
such a challenge.
We were
pat
going
on
to
the
be
back.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the thing. This is the mold. And we're like, we make the show. Let's just do what we want.
And it's like anybody who watches the first 30 seconds of every episode, it's like, well, we had a plan, but then we immediately deviated from that plan.
And then our plan
came
got
up with something
better.
better.
Exactly. We made it like book club style, where
Yes.
each of us submitted a movie to the basement trio of our own accord. The other people would watch our movies and vice versa. And now we have three great movies to talk about, all available on Shudder.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Shudder special, baby.
That's what we figured we'd do, is just kind of do a nice little tour of one of our favorite streamers, still among the least expensive and I think of
Best
the
bang for your buck.
deepest of, I feel like it's like this and the Criterion channel, which I still don't have, but I feel like those like kind of more specific,
The Criterion channel would be great. If I had it,
those deep dives that are not $20 a month and just kind of like provide you with all the stuff that like you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah,
And then-
Criterion's 10 and Shudder is $7.99. Not a flex, just an appreciation of the love of
Still,
streaming.
no, thank you for the figures.
and it's accessible with
Not
that
even
price point.
trying
That is
to-
accessible.
Yeah.
Not even trying to necessarily plug, because like that's not what this is about. But truly, like if you are like us,
Shudder
just
Pirates.
schmoes, no, it's because that's not what this is.
I know.
But like if we're just like talking about how to acquire the things that are weird and strange and wet and goopy and like all the stuff that we basement folk are talking about. Like these are kind of the things. These are sort of the places we'll go. So maybe we'll do if we find other good streaming opportunities or whatever.
Yeah,
we'll
pick
also
something
feature
from a
that,
new
but
stream.
This is just for the fact that we all know we love it and use it, so why not talk about it?
Yeah,
Celebrate
I
it.
feel like it's one of those things too that it's like anytime that they've had a price increase, it's like, okay, we're going up 50 cents, we're going up $1, but now we're gonna have live channels now, or now we're gonna have a different way of searching stuff. The genres are gonna be better. Like
Yeah, our
it
releases
keeps
are
it-
increasing.
Yeah, it adapts in a way, and it's like, or you get presented with more Shudder originals. And it's like we're putting out more movies now, and it's like, okay, I know exactly where my money's going with it, and I really like that.
Yeah.
It's by no means perfect, but I think it's a great celebration of like all the weird movies and really like made by fans and folks that do this like for like labors of love as much as anything else.
Love of the game, and that's
So.
the biggest thing about it.
Yeah. So we wanted to celebrate that and the lovely like curation that they do, and we pick things that are just mostly like new and just sort of like on the tips of maybe people's brains a bit. But I think we're gonna start with my pick if we're just diving in, right? Or
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we wanted to set up or catch up on or?
I'm just really excited. This is also one of those things where it's like I believe for each of us, these were things in each of our respective radars. We just found a good time to be like, oh,
Heck, we can talk about this now.
We very much just
Or,
wanted
like,
to knock things off our respective
Absolutely.
watch lists. Sure.
These are movies that have been like on radars and like either recent releases or have been like, Shudder staples from when they were presented. So
Yeah.
like it's cool to
or when we get there, things that I was actively avoiding.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah, I guess we could start with
Yeah, we'll
pick.
start with your pick.
But as Claudio explained earlier, we each picked one and then kind of traded so we could all discuss. And so my pick was just something that I had just recently watched because it was on my watch list, because of the cast. Which was I had heard about this over like a year ago or whatever, just because Daphne Keane was a star. She's someone I enjoy. We also ended up having in the cast, I'm gonna forget their names, but like one of the stars of the Yellow Jackets that we have all enjoyed.
Ah, yeah.
Younger
Sophie
cast.
Nélisse, Guy Yang,
Thank you.
Nick Frost.
And then Nick Frost was I didn't realize. I was like, oh hey, our friend. So I
He
was like,
showed
yeah.
up and I was like, yeah, I forgot you were in this.
Plus, again, it's centered around an object that we all have and have like celebrated and enjoyed that we all forgot. So again, whatever. I recommended that we watch Whistle, the not Final Destination that is surrounding.
Didn't have to do with a train at all.
The ancient Aztec.
Aztec.
Not Mayan, Aztec artifact that is just mysteriously showing up in a high school locker apropos of nothing,
Yep.
which allows teenagers to summon their own death ahead of schedule. And that's really all it is. And I wish there was even more to describe, but there isn't.
No, there is. There's
there?
more. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's a Final Destination Smile It Follows ripoff.
Damn it!
Damn it. That's what it is.
I was gonna say there's a little bit of smile in there. There's a little bit of It's about I do in concept. I think it's really cool to summon your own death. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you still need
Period.
Okay.
Dot.
No, I agree.
Here's the thing, though, and this is going to be a theme among like the movies we visit today. But like, script first, folks. Like that is your foundation, right? And a great idea or a great premise, or even just like jumping off an evolution of something like Smile or whatever, is a great way to get started. But like, you still need characters if you want us to watch for like 85 plus minutes. Like at the bare minimum, give us some sort of arc, right?
Let me care for them at some capacity to be invested in whether they die or not.
Some sense of momentum or stakes to create like, I don't know, a sense of like time as opposed to just like ticking off boxes.
What was the runtime of this one?
It was the longest of the
It
three
was the
that we
longest.
watched, at what, 95 minutes, I want to say?
Hour 40. So,
But to be, I guess,
okay,
more...
so
You said 140? Okay, so 100 minutes. Like, that's usually a nice,
Yeah, around the.
juicy, runtime
I don't
for a
know.
solid genre thriller.
I think I want to say like around like the. You said 100 minutes? Probably around like the 70-minute mark. I was like, okay, I've seen this character a lot throughout the whole thing. I still don't understand what purpose they serve in this story.
I know who you're talking about.
Why is this guy? Who is this guy? Who cares about this
Okay,
guy?
well, so before
Yeah.
I guess start picking apart the characters, let's clarify our references in terms of Final Destination, Smile, and It Follows. So Final Destination, the oldest of like the things that this is ripping off, is of course the whole like death is chasing you, aspect.
You're changing Death's plans, or Death has a plan of some fashion.
yeah,
You're just plan, the sort of causality of it all, right?
Fate.
The Rube Goldberg fate of it all, right, became like, even within the pulpiest, like crappiest of the Final Destination movies, something worth watching, and a clever hook, something to at least like make it stand out.
Yeah.
This eschews that for just
What if it happened instantly?
and yeah, or not.
Yeah.
Depending on the needs of the
Yep.
or
script.
not.
How long we had to kill time for?
Also, an inconsistency that, like, sometimes we could see it, sometimes we couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I guess like
again, just if you're gonna do these types of like supernatural things, then I gotta see some consistent rules. Otherwise it feels random, and I don't know what to like. There's no parameters, you know. So that's a big issue I had with Whistle. But
I think there was only one. I mean, we'll get to the kills eventually, but I think there was only one that was actually not seen, and like I guess
until it was, and then it like piecemealed. And I just don't understand the mechanics.
Yeah, like some are from the jump. Some see themselves. Okay. Oh yeah, and then into
some creep around for a few days. Like it just like has no rhyme or reason.
And that's where the It Follows parts is. Like for some of these survivors, they're seeing the premonition of their quote unquote time of death, what they were situationally involved in at the moment, and some stalked them. Some were just they're ready to go.
But whereas in Final Destination, I feel like they at least established some sense of like, oh, we've trespassed because you screwed up the plan, right? Like the grand design was interrupted. Like there was a real, like you understood that.
Thank you, Tony Todd.
Abstract concept, or
Tony.
however, like yes.
For this one, it was just you blew the whistle and you heard it. Amateur decision.
And it just like feels very like, you get it, right? So like, okay, if you're gonna speed run us through it, then at least make it fun, or I don't know, make fun of stuff, have the jokes be worthwhile instead of just, I don't know, Hot Topic Daphne
There
Keene.
were jokes.
Well, again, and tropes
These are
and
the
archetypes.
Jokes. Yeah.
Like this was, I
But
know
also,
what you did.
where
last-
were the parents? Where are the adults in this movie? There was one adult.
Well, I was gonna say this was I Know What You Did Last Summer remake levels of like just
Don't you dare disrespect
archetypes
the divas.
and tropes with just for the sake of
Yes.
doing them for no apparent reason and just whatever.
The
this
divas were up.
It reeked of that sloppy writing, sloppy everything, because we're just trying to appeal to a demographic. And it was like, well, stop talking down to people. Like, just fucking lay out the rules, like you were saying. Give me something to chew on.
Or a character arc. So like, okay, so we kind of ran through the Final Destination of it all, and then Smile comes in as a very obvious comparison, just because of like the way in which the deaths manifest in terms of the again like creeping and. But again, that had rules. Like they were very distinct.
I mean, like very similar to It Follows, where it's like you see it and it's coming, but no one else sees it.
which I feel like is kind of
That
the
part, too.
granddaddy of all of this, despite Final Destination coming first. But like It Follows did such a great job of anchoring the device that is utilized very well, I think, in Smile 2, more so than Smile,
I
which
was
I
going
had
to say
real issues
it's
with.
more close to Smile 2. Also because of, I mean, it'll be a spoiler moving forward, but the means at which they realize that they can survive this is similar to Smile 2.
It's also similar to.
It's also
Final Destination
Final
2.
Destination 5. Like it's
Yeah.
very much the rule of like, oh, okay, I'll put someone else in front of
and
me.
then they also Smile to
As
the
if there's
very
an order
end
to it.
as well.
Well, no, I was saying more Final Destination 2, where it's like you only gotta die once, kind of deal. And but like again, that part too, where it's like, my blood got on you. Tag your like, what? When?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, that came out of left field.
But so I think it lacks the artistry of It Follows, the characters of It Follows, the themes and then the strengths of that. Like
the
as an
rules and the
aesthetic,
fun
the styles.
of Final Destination, the rules and the fun of Smile. It was just kind of devoid of all of that.
It was just a real poor distillation of those better genre works, unfortunately.
On plus sides, CGI work was actually done really well in this.
It didn't look bad. It
It
didn't sound
didn't-
bad.
it-
It was competent technically.
Okay, so the sound I had a little bit of an issue with. It did that new school horror movie thing where it was like, all of the dialogue was down here, and then
sure,
somebody
yeah.
screams, and it's like, oh, can we? Like, I'm watching this, like, I can't just sit here with the fucking remote up and down, up and down. Like, I hate that.
I do hate that. Yes.
But as a positive though, I will say this is similar to, this is a really weird kind of thing, but I'll get there. Similar to Lisa Frankenstein, I really appreciated that they presented an alt person who's into a very specific thing, listening to good music, like actual real good music. They started going through her record collection at one point in the movie, and it was like, yo, she had some banger albums in there. She had some cool band t-shirts.
All right. Well, but then what's his name? The who's the boy who has the crush on the other one, the blonde?
Rel
Who ends
Her
up
cousin?
cosplaying like the Crow.
Yeah.
Sky Yang.
Not the Crow.
played Rel. Yeah.
Her cousin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Main
right.
girl's cousin.
Chrysanthemum's cousin.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea anyone's name. in this
Oh
one.
no, I'm not. I didn't learn anyone's names.
What the heck, guys? I'm the only one being like chrysanthemum.
What was the
that's
name of the
Ellie.
comic book?
That's not even fair. That's not a character.
He talked about it 7 times.
I remember. I'm pretty sure it was the Revenger.
Yeah, because
the
art style was
the one
pretty
that
cool
was
in
based
that.
off of Not Crow. Yeah.
The art style was really cool.
So wait, I bring him up in contrast to if you thought Daphne Keene's character was done well in terms of the authentic like music choices and like I thought our girl looked great. I loved her and Baby Yellow Jackets. Like I love
Yes.
their work.
Yeah, Daphne and Sophie did
No
a
real
wonderful
issues
job.
with
Yeah.
the cast's performance per se. But
That's
like,
actually
again,
exactly what I had said when I saw her. I was like, Baby Yellow Jackets.
script isn't there. Like characters aren't
No,
there. That's why I'm
no.
not learning names. Because why attached to what per se? Besides a T-shirt or a haircut or again and cool that we had 2 gay leads. But again that's about it.
Okay, that was another complaint that I had about this movie.
Well,
This movie was not gay enough.
Yeah,
It was not gay enough.
Should have been more of all of it. Instead, it
When
was
you
just
said
kinda-
whistle should be gay, I thought you meant the actual sound of the whistle. And not the movie as a scope. So I was like, huh? And
You
then I
blow
saw,
into it and you just hear Trixie Mattel make a weird noise.
you hear her laugh. But then after watching, I'm like, oh, I get it now.
No, it was
Yeah.
I just feel like they teetered on okay, yes, there is a queer relationship that is taking place here, and they were easily walking into it, weren't shoving it in our face. But then, nothing kind of came of it, and it just sort of
Anything.
there is no sizzle here. There was no the chemistry was fine, but
Daphne Keene is damaged new girl, and then she makes a friend. The Baby Yellow Jackets is I don't know what.
she felt like Vanilla the character. Yeah,
Love interest,
mean-
damsel in distress, whatever. Then you had stupid what's his name wannabe Crow that was so weird and random, and
Rel.
why did he just go insane in the third act? And again, if you're gonna make a character kind of go insane, then make him go nuts.
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it's lean into the idea of him now becoming his this is my version of the Revenger. The girl that I loved is dead, so now I'm gonna lose my mind and go crazy.
Before
do
we go,
that.
before we
Or
go
wait,
to
what?
Rel, I just want to rewind just a hair and say that I was actually fine with Daphne and Sophie's depiction of it because it wasn't. I appreciate all the aspects of the queer love in horror, but for this one, it was very nonchalant. It was very casual, and I'm like. Some may say it was heteronormative in how it was approached, but sometimes gay people just be like that.
Yeah.
So from my view, I'm like, okay, I don't need this and it might just be the writing itself because again they did a fantastic job.
I think it came from the fact of they didn't follow through with pretty much everything else in the story. It was I feel like it fell flat for me because like I said, I really liked the nonchalant aspect of it
Right.
leading up, but then it just kind of felt like it went nowhere, and it was well,
A little
why?
too matter of fact, a little too
Yeah.
humdrum, and then just oh yeah,
For-
we lived.
but I
and
think it was
so
like-
we're a
for
couple.
how timeline wise, this is where the timeline comes in. Where I'd say we don't know how long. It could have been a week, and at that point, it's basically confessing love. It may have been rushed, but again, I think that might just be to the script's con itself.
What,
Yeah.
what was rushed?
So we don't know how long the events of the beginning of the movie to the end were exactly. So going from them just meeting and then them actually having a conversation up
So
to
you're saying the relationship was rushed?
yes, or I can see that because it goes to the very end basically she's bringing
The
Chris
only-
back from the dead and basically confessing her love.
Yeah.
And in a week.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about that. They're teenagers. That's whatever. I'm not complaining about how long they've been courting. I'm complaining about that they don't have arcs. They aren't characters. Mm-hmm. They're very tropey. They're very thin. That's what I was saying earlier. That's why I was running through the characters and kind of complaining about them all. Again, I mean, Daphne Keene might have great music taste, but she literally is just hi, I'm what you wished Hot Topic was, or whatever. And then you have the even worse version of that in the the nice kid, whatever his name is, that has a crush on the blonde lady, because I'm sure she's 25, the actress, or whatever.
Grace.
And we keep again talking about his obsession with this fake comic book, The Revenger, and it just like, I don't know, I don't understand like what we were supposed to make of this kid. And like, okay, so if you're like a maladjusted nice goth who is obsessed with comic books and like gets drunk on Halloween cosplaying before hitting on a girl that doesn't like him, I don't know if what are we is this like aggressive creeps are the good guy? Like, I don't know.
I feel like from what you're saying, it's also just unfortunate circumstance of too many cooks, not enough meals cooked to perfection.
Yeah.
I don't know
So,
if
like,
it was too many people or one person not doing a good job, but like regardless, my least favorite folks were the blonde lady, you know, just like I think her character's name was Blonde, and then her boyfriend whose name I
Grace.
believe was Jock. Just Blonde and Jock really
Dean.
were beyond the pale, right? Because like this dude was aggressively aggressive. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's-
they kind of opened up with his character and was like, yo, he's gonna like hit a woman.
which if that's what you're going with, cool, because that exists. But then like, why are
But
these
then
five?
now they're friends. Like,
Why are
what?
these five folks constantly hanging out with each other and studying in hot tubs? Hot tubs. Sorry, all the
Hot
all the
topic
hot
tubs.
topics. Yeah, in the hot tubs. But,
But
no,
yeah,
Hot topic, call me. I have an idea.
we're a clique.
You know
and
why?
Even though you got us attention, you're gonna come hang out with us.
But
now.
it's the second act, so we have to spend all our time together. Like whatever. And so again, like this is where I
Also,
just couldn't.
I've
rock
never
with
seen
it.
anybody hit a weed pen so weird in my entire life.
Now that we've run through the main cast, let's speak to the most unusual character, who does fulfill an archetype often seen in like teen, genre works. Like he is the sort of outside bad boy. Like he's the other that is not the wimp, but the other who is outside of things but is like running the show. I'm thinking of like the Pin in Brick, or in the Faculty, fucking Josh Hartnett, right? Like
Are you
again the drug dealer.
Yeah, you're talking
Noah
about.
Haggerty.
So in Whistle, we have Glenn. I feel like you're dying to talk about this young man who's not so young.
I'm trying to think of
pastor.
like how I want to phrase what I feel about.
Well, he's a
this
drug
character.
dealing youth pastor, so he's like a badass Christian, which
He is like dichotomy the character, because I could not understand what the fuck they were trying to tell. He's like trying to be helpful, but he's like, and he's also like a youth pastor, but he's also like a drug dealer and like tries to like stab somebody with a fucking knife.
I'm gonna
and,
slam
like,
you onto
what
this
is
car.
happening?
Glenn, what drugs did he deal?
God, I don't know.
But no, like we see him sell Blonde a weed pen.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't catch that.
What's what you were saying? She hits the pen weird.
Yeah, I knew she had it. Didn't know where it came from.
Because they like
He
meet up in
came.
a
He
parking
came
lot
on
real quick.
screen and my brain shut off.
But
and
then-
I was like, mm-mm.
But then, but like, all right, what else? What other narcotics is he in the business of?
The body of Christ.
That's what I like. I might be the Eucharist. Like I don't know what else this guy is like dealing in.
Yo, I
and
got this primo shit straight in from the Vatican.
it's like, I just don't understand. Like, is he just whatever? Again,
But he's also got like this sick cross tattoo on his chest.
and ends up being saved from the whole death mechanism whistle.
Because
thing.
again, we are.
because he's protected by his Christ tattoo. So again, are we saying that the drug dealing pusher of both,
They don't know who they want to be the good guy.
whatever opiate of the masses this guy is like putting forth, apparently though, like that's good enough for God? Or like I don't understand what any of these characters or arcs were trying to do.
I did appreciate the subtle nod to Chinatown when she grabs the knife and his nose.
Oh sure.
And I was like,
At
yeah,
the
that's
fair.
Chinatown.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I did
Literally,
miss that.
I don't even think that was what they were going for, but that's
No.
what I saw.
I would give
I feel like
credit to
that's
that.
too close for it not to have been.
Yeah, that can't be a coincidence. Can you imagine
I don't
if that's
think
a coincidence?
I don't think there was.
Yeah, right.
No, but to
I don't
hit,
think there was very much brain power in much of anything. That
to
kinda
hit a
did.
golden era, like 70s noir, like world famous performance though, like that's a very, I don't know. I think it's too much of a coincidence. I think it's a good call.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think about? So obviously, we're all in agreement that the script is like the script could have been taken care of more. This felt like a first draft, and it didn't feel like it went anything past that.
I feel like
did
they
this
could've
feel?
really, oh, go on.
Yeah. Did this feel like not saying that it is, because I have no clue as to whether or not this is true or not. Did this feel like one of those like ChatGPT the movie type deals?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, maybe. Because again, it was like a premise and then not much else. And it was like a functional, there was a beginning, middle, and end, but it was just such a knocking them off one by one until whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, plotting-wise, but, like, dialogue-wise, I don't know. It wasn't great, but I didn't feel the
I don't think it was
valley
slop.
of...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I mean, for...
Because I didn't think so either, but I was just curious as to what you guys kind of thought, because it's like, this just feels like lazy writing. It doesn't feel like we're going to have...
Humanistically lazy.
Yeah, humanistically
Yeah.
lazy, yes. We're not
All-
going to
all
outsource to a
natural.
computer.
This is...
That good old-fashioned American laziness.
Unless it's just the three, folks that we favored and mentioned earlier that we, like from the cast doing good, decent work.
Yeah.
With a
Because,
mediocre
like,
script.
the acting was good. I feel like
It's fine.
it was the lines that were bad.
Yeah, that's what
know?
I mean. It was all fine.
It
An
was
actor
all
can only do
to a
as
point.
good as the book they're given.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And
saying, so...
And for Owen Egerton, who is the writer of Whistle, this would be his 5th film that he has written for.
after what?
After
If you have that in front of you, because I'm curious.
Bloodfest, which was 2018, Mercy Black, which was 2019, The Axe Murders, 2016. So, like, these are...
all features?
And Follow 2015. What do you mean feature?
As opposed to shorts?
Is Bloodfest the one...
No, they're all feature. Or they're all film.
Is
not
Bloodfest
feature,
the one where
shorts.
they go to, like,
They're
the
all
theme
shorts.
park?
They're not shorts. I'm sorry.
They're all
my
features.
My brain
They are not
is-
features. So they're shorts.
They're
no, they're
all
not shorts.
films, not shorts.
Like, I feel like...
Unless
Are they feature length? Are they more than in, like...
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was...
I was like, oh my god. Do I know what a feature?
I assume
do
they're all films.
Do I know what a feature is?
That's
Name
what I
a
was-
feature.
Sorry. My bad. I'm using weird terminology. But no. So, okay, maybe not... I don't know. He's written more scripts than me, so I should shut up, right? But, like, I just didn't have anything to latch on to, so... Not my favorite.
Oh,
However,
yeah. Bloodfest was the one I was thinking of. Okay. This one was dumb. It was really dumb, but it was fun.
Okay, fair enough. That's all you gotta be. But
Yeah,
like,
it's
this
like
again is not
horror
fun
obsessed.
enough.
A group of horror obsessed teens go to a horror theme park, and there's an actual killer on the loose in the theme park. It's stupid. It's sloppy, but it's fun.
I didn't like how we went from Nick Frost being our like faux Indiana Jones, like gonna explain it to us, which I
Oh
was
my god! And then they
down with. But then they replaced him with, and then who was the like famous woman?
That was.
I can't remember her name.
Are you
But
talking about like the actor's name, or
yeah, the woman that was like dying of cancer.
It's
Oh, yeah, Basketball
Michelle
Kid's mom.
Fairley is the actor's name, Ivy, who is the Basketball Kid's grandma.
Oh, that's not. I was mistaken her for a
Basketball One's grandma.
for a more famous actress. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
No, Nick Frost is cool, and I love that that was a funny little exchange where it's like he's doing the whole like Indiana Jones thing, and then the one girl like Googles it, and he's like, I guess that's just,
And, like, that
I'll
was
just throw my
snappy.
degree in the fucking trash.
That was snappy. That had good rhythm. That was like entertaining and like, all right, I'm here for that if you can pull it off. But then like as soon as he was gone, it just like
Yeah.
the life was sucked out of.
Well, I also feel like somebody like Nick Frost, like the director's probably going to be sitting there going, no, Nick, I'm familiar with your work. I know who you are. Like, you can work a scene if you want. And then it's like with everything else, it's like, all right, well, you're not Nick, so just kind of stick to what we have written.
Or do you think it was a case of, hey man, can you do this if you're only on set for like 2 days? And he was like, all right.
Probably.
No.
Maybe,
shade to
yeah.
him.
He seems to be such a cool guy
just saying.
outside of things, so it's like I can see him being like, yeah, I'll do it.
spoilers be damned, he's there for what, 30 minutes?
Not even 20,
Yeah.
maybe.
So post that, yeah.
So,
All that to say, I feel Whistle does have a heartbeat. It's just it needed a little more. What's the word?
Development.
Reps. It needed more reps to flesh out what it wanted to be, as opposed to just like you said, just the tropes existing in the realm.
Yeah, this could have benefited from people sitting down and being like, okay, like we're gonna do a table read. We're gonna try and like let's take this one more version further. Let's not call this draft the final version. And I feel like that would have really kind of fleshed out things a little bit better. Cast was fine. Like I said, CGI was fine. Sound could have been fixed a little bit. What was your favorite kill?
mine was the car accident. Because that was just, I mean, that was gruesome. You understood what it was and like what was happening, and that was like, I would say, legitimately scary because a violent car crash, especially. Plus, they were seating the characters drunk driving like very obviously, but also like, okay, well, you put in the effort, and so like and like that felt like a full. Taking advantage, like a full utilization of like the mechanics of this device. Like, yeah, it's still a Final Destination ripoff. Yeah, we're just kind of coasting on Smile and It Follows. But
that one followed the rule too, where we saw the visage for a minute, and then we saw it happen.
And it felt like clever and complete with a character arc, and this guy was an asshole, so like I really didn't mind seeing him ripped up. But it was
Chekhov's
so brutal.
drunk driving incident.
Yeah, so like it just kind of felt like, all right, well, if you were at least this thorough and comprehensive with each of them, I could kind of like dig it a bit more. But some of them just felt so random. And just like I don't know, some of it was just so like, why do I need to care about these teens?
Why did Revenger get thrown into a chipper?
Because he worked at a steel mill.
He worked at a factory.
He worked at a steel mill, and that's why he took the pastor back there. See, and he took the pastor back there because he was like,
he was going to mark him, yeah.
I'm already going to die here, so I might as well bring him here. And so he but again, that's...
But wait, the pastor ends up biting it anyway.
For a different reason.
Yeah.
Because
what happened? How did he get
Cousin was gonna put the blood on, and then Chris was like, "No," and he's like, "Okay," and then he gets milled. Which the animation of it—that's the one I was talking about, where you don't see anything. On that one,
you don't see any.
You just see him getting pulled into the invisible mill.
Yeah, you see him die, but you don't see. There's no visage.
Which then you see. Which I feel like if you're in a mill, you're into nothingness, you know?
Yeah, he gets pink misted real quick.
But the
which
way
was cool. I did
so
dig
that was
in
cool.
terms of a fan of Blood Spray, which by the way I rewatched They Will Kill You. It's on HBO Max. Man, the blood was spraying, geysers be geysing, like.
But the youth pastor died because
cool
when Chris and Ellie were trying to resuscitate each other at that point.
Real Kylo, Ben, Solo, Rey, Skywalker, Rises bullshit. I didn't appreciate that nonsense at all.
And the pastor was breaking in to try and do something, and then he touches the blood. He touches Ellie's blood,
so
which
he
saves Ellie.
Marks himself.
And marks himself.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, really?
I like the makeup on the bloated dead version of him. That was cool.
Very convoluted though, and by that point, I'm just like already
right.
Actually, I don't even know if it was makeup. It was probably CGI.
And then I'm sorry. What
it might have been because
like Nick Frost is 100% CGI for his death too.
Oh well, yeah, because you see his But one more important thing I totally forgot to say, and this isn't justify the movie, but it is something to think about because we've talked about this numerous times in other films. This I just had it. Owen Egerton, I said, was the writer for this. This was an adaptation of his short story. So this is a short story turned into a full-length film. And I know we've talked about this before, where things had movies that could have been short stories that should have been short stories, and with that in mind, do you think this would have benefited more as a short film as opposed to feature length?
Yes.
Yes. Well, quality versus quantity. Like it's literally not about how many minutes. It's about like stakes in the character and the arcs. Like,
do you think? That's what I'm saying. Do you think the stakes would have been better if it didn't?
If the runtime was condensed, not
necessarily, but it was a short story to begin with, and if it
just a short movie or
it was, or the writer the movie,
a short movie though, or a short story like a
short
like an anthology type deal, like we were talking about with Overtone, where it's like Overtone could have been like a 15.
If just the short story was made into a short film.
Okay, film. Okay, thank you. You kept saying short story. I didn't know if you meant like prose print or a short movie.
Like Face of God on YouTube. If it was something like that, where it's a 7
I'll send it
minute.
to you.
Okay, no, I know what short movies are though. Yeah.
But like just like a YouTube thing.
Okay.
Like, do you think that would benefit more if it just existed as such?
No, I think it would be even more like gimmicky at that point, because then you're not giving yourself any or even not less of an opportunity to build character and stakes, but then like you got to be even more efficient with it. And so like it wasn't there. But again, it's not a matter of
if the tropes are just tropes,
length.
That won't change if it was a short film, because they're still tropes, is what you're saying.
Well, again, but like tropes aren't the problem. It's the lack of character and the lack of stakes and the lack of like clear parameters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
which you could do in a short or a
Yeah,
feature.
I was gonna say, like, if it would work for me personally, like if it was done like a short film, like anthology style, like we're hopping into this story.
But then again, a clearer frame narrative, right? So that's one of the things I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
either be more clear with the rules,
Yeah.
more clear with the characters.
And which I think that would benefit from cutting the fat of them trying to like build out things or like do these stupid little tropey things where it's like, no, if you just cut to the chase and didn't explain a whole lot of the characters stuff and just like explain the rules of the whistle, you could take away from some of the stuff that they spent time to make the full length and put that effort and time into adjusting the script, adjusting the rules, getting it like streamlined and have it happen.
Developing the lore would have been a great idea. Again, you don't have to tell by literally telling. You can tell by showing. That's kind of been the whole thing with this medium since the beginning. You know what I mean? Like,
What are you talking about? Nobody watches movies to watch them.
that's where I feel like we're getting, like, you know, it's just like silly, like obvious stuff that we're getting hung up on. It's like, it's not the length, it's the lack of, you know, fundamentals. And just like, again, you could efficiently establish things, but like you gotta establish things and like then make them count by following their rules. Like, and this just didn't really have any of that to me. It just had a bunch of like,
I bring up length solely because when I think of that, I think of like Wicked and how it turned a 3-hour musical into 6 hours of a film.
See, that's a whole other like pod for me because like, okay, Wicked the movies are 2 features adapted from a musical, adapted from a
book.
A single book or a series, which itself was different from the original Frank L. Baum series, of which Wizard of Oz was one of several entries, if I'm not mistaken, right? So again, that's a heck of a comparison point for me because I'm like, oh, well, that is its own weird adaptation beast commentary on a commentary on a commentary in a different adaptation of like, so that's a whole convoluted thing for me. But
that's just where my brain went.
Why do you make that comparison?
In the sense of
from
musical to film, you have this much that you were working with in like a 3-hour musical, and you made like a 2.5-hour movie. Great, 2.5 hours of a movie that is an hour and a half's worth of an act.
So it's like spreading stuff too thin. Like, so yeah, length is a problem when you don't have enough substance to begin with. So okay, I can see then like
that's
reverse
where my
engineering
thought was,
into
like,
sure.
You don't have to worry about stretching.
It might work better if there weren't names literally to remember, because then maybe it wouldn't be you know what I'm saying? Like we could just kind of base it off the archetypes. And so it might work better as a short, but I don't think it would necessarily be like, I don't know,
sway yourself
better,
satisfying.
Yeah.
It would just be like, it was all right. Again, though, it's not really like a full story. It's more just like a proof of concept or something, which again is kind of like how I feel about one of the movies we're going to discuss.
So when I had asked
Not this one.
the kill question, which one for you was the one that
I
you
mean,
was the car crash as well?
I was gonna say like not for nothing, like the kills were kind of just blah. Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick one that wasn't the car crash, it would have to be Miss Browning's blonde. Just because of how it wasn't immediate. That
was a thought-out scene. That was a thought-out scene.
Was she just the old age one?
Yeah, she just died of old age.
But she was also like fighting her way through a maze while it was happening.
And she was slowly aging because she was grabbing
exciting.
onto. So it was like there was like a chase to it. There was like it wasn't an immediate thing, and only because like graphically it's the car crash. But if I want to put light onto a different kill, it would be that one.
Yeah. Mine's not a kill as much as it is a death. I really liked when Hot Topic ended up dying in the tub. And then she ended up doing the whole fucking Requiem for a Dream floating through the water. Like, i.e., like, also, like, I think Snatch did it. When Brad Pitt gets knocked out and he falls through the water.
It's also the Get Out. Sunken Place.
Yes.
It's also Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. But it's like, I really, like,
Patterns.
I feel like we had a vision for this scene. And they went and tried to do this thing. And it's like, okay.
Again, though, pretty common special effect at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very common special effect, but it's cool and people do it because it's effective. And it was like, I feel like that was very striking. It was like, that was one of 2 moments where it was like, you were not just trying to make a snazzy death as much as you were trying to make a cool scene.
Well, so as we were seeing this thing unfold, one of my first thoughts was like, okay, well, what if you just die a happy natural death in your peaceful bed at a ripe old age of 95, surrounded by your friends, family, and accomplishments?
And Grace said,
But we saw
"Nope."
it. It was not fun.
Yeah.
But but that's what I'm saying. Like, so
Yeah.
like, where does the aggression come in? Like, really? Because she heard a whistle?
I think it's something about the way that the death is called. I don't fucking know.
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. Like, but again, we don't know, and we should.
We're speculating instead of having
stakes come from.
concrete.
That's where tension comes from. You got to build this stuff up. When nothing's established, nothing matters.
But also, our main character's dad's dead.
Yeah, and
That means a lot.
and she had addiction issues.
It's like that subplot just did not pay off at all for me.
And don't get me wrong, we've all taken a creative writing course. Like, I understand like what a tragic flaw is, but like again, you could do something with it. It's not just like whatever. So
The junkie part was a good red herring, though, only in the sense of like they were seeing their deaths, and when she saw her, she saw the needle in her arm, and only until later it's like you have the insulin, and then she's like, Ellie stabs her because she wants her to die for save her, and that's the click of, oh shit, it's gonna be now. So like I thought
It's gonna be May.
again that was a really cool moment. Period.
it was in my brain. Justin Timberlake.
Do you guys have a letterbox
What a
rating for it?
Actually,
Out of 5?
Two.
2?
Pretty sure.
Two.
Let me double check
I don't
myself
think-
here.
you
five.
you put 2.
I'm a 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 2.
2.5 goes to a lot of movies I like, honestly. 2.5 is like, ooh, I see what you were doing and you were so close, but something held you back, but I see what you're doing. Like,
What's a
2.5 is like
3?
almost there. 3 is almost worse because it's like, oh. that is
You
a
were
movie.
right there. You were right there.
No, well, it was 3 is like you hit the mark, which was not you didn't aim high. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why.
So like
2.5
a
is
C's
almost
get
more
degrees
interesting.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
For some reason on Joe's letterbox, 2.5 is more important than a 3.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I'll defend it.
Fuck my AP classes then.
But then 2 is like,
He's in
all
here
right.
playing 4D chess with it.
Anything less than 2, I'm starting to get angry with, right? But like 2.5 and above, like, okay, I at least saw your potential. 2 is like, you just are a dum-dum. You might have been kind of fun, but you don't
A
get to...
habitual fence sitter.
That
is
is
what that
so
is.
funny. You a dum dum.
I can't be mad at you, but like, I can't give you any kind of credit.
You know what I can't give credit to? Our next feature film.
Hey, that's a good segue.
Just for humor, I wanted to look up. I know what you did last summer. You gave it 1.5 because you were so
Angry at
mad.
that one.
Uh-huh.
I was starting to get a little pissed with that one. That's what I'm saying. I'm very consistent with my rating. You
So
can,
I
What does it
appreciate
take for you
that.
to do a 1?
You gotta
So
be
this is
worse
why I
than.
gotta pay for the because then you can look up your 5s and your 1s and your 3s, I believe. But so I have 1s set up for stuff like like Outwaters, I think was a 1.
Oh god, that movie
You know
was
what I mean?
fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That was a waste. A 1 is when you get done and go, that was a waste of time.
That's like, so I'm not just pissed off that you wasted my time, but like you kind of maybe offended me.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
yeah. Stuff that gets offensive would be like a 1 star.
That's so funny.
Yeah, don't watch Outwaters. Or do. I don't fucking know.
If you got 80 minutes to waste and you just like
Not a
feed-
deathbed movie. Do not watch Outwaters
no,
on your
yeah,
deathbed.
You should probably be like
You're 1/2.
20 years old and like high and in a state where you could think bad stuff is good.
Your 1s and your 1.5s are funny, but I'll save that. For another
Thank
day.
you. I would agree.
I look at
That's
like,
what I just like don't care.
That
And I go
is a
off.
whole nother episode of us just sitting down and me and you on the same side of the table.
we have to read
going
each other's reviews.
Joe, you put this one at 1.5. Do you still stand by that?
That would be so much fun.
The Joe Letterbox exclusive episode.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Ooh, just dragging my 1-star
Write that down. Write that down right now.
But yes,
Hell
to
yeah.
Glenn's pick.
Yeah, to my pick. Okay, so my pick. I gotta pull up some pertinent details on this one because I don't have it right in front
A
of me.
lot of interesting trivia.
I
on
have
this
it
one.
for you if you need
A
it, Clarice.
lot of one.
Like Whistle, Shudder exclusive at the moment, I believe.
A 2024 release.
Which is unlike Whistle.
I think that it was also the release to streaming was 2020.
I was gonna say, while per our discussion earlier, Claudio. Like, I wonder if this would be considered not a short, right? But kind of just short of a feature, because apparently it was. It's an hour. It's like 61 minutes.
61 minutes.
And that's because we found out after the fact it was part of an anthology. It was like a TV special where like 6 up-and-coming directors got, 6 prompts, 6 premises to do like supernatural, whatever.
And this
genre
was
stuff.
the director's debut, which is really cool.
He had worked on a couple Marvel projects, recent stuff, but like I believe Thor 4, More Thor, and Love and Thunder, and
Thor 4 More Thor is all I can think of.
Multiverse of Madness. 2 things that I have thoughts on. But
this is the 61-minute
really enjoyed
folk horror classic in the making, Vitavimen, aka Heresy.
Thank you.
So English title Heresy, very very good.
Misleading, because I really like the original title of Vitavimen, which is Dutch for the White Women, which is a folklore. It's a
Specific mythology.
Yeah, specific mythology, and god damn it, it's fucking cool.
Very cool.
It sits very comfortably around like the witch, Hagazusa, the village. What was the other one that I had said? Ah, fuck.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of, I know you still have not seen this, but I preferred it to Free Waka, which was something I enjoyed but like wanted more from, and I feel like this was similar but like really delivered in ways that I think make the witch comparison not just apt for its like folk horror genre conventions.
Oh, it had like a little bit of the ritual sprinkled on
It's
top.
general
too,
aesthetic, right? But yeah, it's this fun stuff like the ritual, like as well as not the witch isn't fun, but like it's a little bit more measured and dour. It's Robert Eggers, right? But no, yeah, it is just really cool. What's the other folk horror that has been floating around Shudder for a long time? It used to be always playing on the live channels.
Is it Hagazusa?
I mean that it's
I
also
love
on Shudder.
Hagazusa.
No, it was like I don't know, much more recent one, maybe like 18 or 19, or maybe it was early 20s. But it's like a couple in a house, and they're getting like harassed by the village folk, and they're all wearing like skull masks, and it's like a pagan cult, and they're just like, it's kind of a home invasion, whatever.
Oh, is it Straw Dogs?
No.
No.
It's,
Oh,
it's
okay.
like 2019 is what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
something like that, or
yeah,
it's
yeah,
much
yeah.
more contemporary.
Okay.
Regardless, it had that kind of feel of like using folk horror aesthetics to be very imposing and creepy and strong in visuals with like tone and just like really just it earns all of its comparisons, I think, to the best of folk horror.
Yeah.
But it uses this mythology of these female wood spirits that could help or hinder depending on how you paid your respects to them, but they often in pre-Christian times were seen as like healing spirits, right? Which is how we see our protagonists kind of like come in contact with them. But of course, post-Christianity, they gained a context of just being evil women because, of course.
They are quickly demonized, and anything outside of the Christian culture is bad.
And so that I loved that sort of historical dichotomy was, I think, very cleverly walked as like a tightrope of tension throughout this movie. The arc.
I didn't know where it was going to go from the get-go. I was like, I very clearly understood the problem at hand. This is the only woman in this village that cannot get pregnant. She posits maybe it's her husband's fault, and he snaps back at her and says, "Don't ever say that it's my fault. It's your fault." And they're very Christian, and they're scared of the woods. And I got it immediately and went, let's go for a ride. This is cool.
So that like is very much, I feel like a nice, tight, sort of succinct kind of summary of like the first 20 minutes, essentially the first act. Because again, this is a strong script with strong characters,
and they
clear
did it in an
arcs.
hour.
They have rules to the supernatural mythology, and it's a satisfying third act. Again, because the stakes are properly established. Because that whole thing about our protagonist, Frida. Is that she is not only like put upon woman and kind of black sheeped for being allegedly infertile or whatever, because again could be the husband's fault, we don't know because they never entertained the thought.
Hiko
But
is her husband.
As she is like put through put through the motions or whatever, she's devout. She's devout. She is
trying every means to make it right.
She's consistently more charitable than her village folk. She is standing up for the weak. Her friend that is essentially getting like assaulted and beat by her husband, who is apparently a serial rapist that they end up like caging for a hot minute.
So the movie starts with his punishment.
And they later, like, once he eventually is, that was awesome. But, like, once he eventually gets got, they're, like, throwing search parties for him and doing all this.
Fucking Eno.
Holding vigils and then drinking to him, making him a martyr, eventually, even though he's a piece of shit. Because, again...
And it was one of those, too, like, I love the fact that we got that, like, fall from grace kind of deals where it's, like, she sees the priest as being such a helpful character in the beginning of the movie because it's like,
priestess?
Hey... No, the priest.
Oh.
Yeah, like the one pastor that she keeps going to talk to, and like we're gonna try and do this Christian ritual to try and help to get me pregnant, and they're helping, and it's all nice, but then it's like seeing that flip flop later on when like Eno ends up dying and he's like martyring this horrible man, and she sees the bullshit. She sees through the religion. She sees behind the curtain, and I love that.
Well, so speaking of arcs, right? We have this priest character who, is like seemingly helping her, in the first act because again, she is doing everything like according to the rules, right? Okay, you're an infertile woman. What are your options at that point? Well, I'll go to my priest. He'll tell me what to do.
Christian
I'll
magics.
Do it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and also like you say, doing the Christian, rituals, whatever. God, the more reading you do into early Christianity, you realize like how everything is just ripped off from pagans and whatever. That's a whole other podcast. But
we have 3 podcasts now.
She's doing her keep track. Thank you. We'll produce them all. But no, she's doing everything right. She's asking for help. She's going through the rituals.
To do that.
She even gets to the point where she's like self-flagellating. Like she's doing all the things that like a good Christian lady would do when her body isn't working according to what the man wants and whatever. That scene I won't spoil, but like that also is like not good enough, lady. And to your credit, I feel like they do such a good job of making sure Frida is seen as not evil. Like we understand that she is not only not evil, but she is humanistic. She's protecting her friends. Like
she's complex too, because it's like they're not writing her as this helpless being.
Right.
And I love that she is a strong female lead because it's like, no, there's complexities here. Is she meek in some scenes? Absolutely. But then there's other scenes that she has power. There's other scenes that she is complex and angry and misdirected or misguided by people. And it's like, dude, you guys put so much emphasis into trying to develop this character and the characters around her.
Thank you. See, and that's why I think ultimately all of this becomes satisfying, because it doesn't matter about how long it takes place or how long even the movie is, right? Or honestly, any of the not any of the plot mechanics, because details matter and stuff has to be believable to a point, right? You have to be able to swallow it, but like, rule cool. As long as you feel connected to the characters and you're happy about the turn of events, like you'll put up with whatever. And like this is one of those things where I was like, God damn it, if they don't have a satisfying third act, I'm gonna be so pissed off that we watched this woman get shit on for 40 minutes. But in my mind, they paid it off.
If you're scared about
really...
it. Because, like, for the first, like, half of this movie, it's like, this woman is just being abused in many different ways.
And, like,
and I don't know if I love this or not. And then it comes full circle back around, and you're like, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
And, like, another fair-skinned, red-headed young woman who discovers her supernatural power to punish shitty men and their acolytes,
that
right?
sounds so familiar.
And I love that these are, white women. Carrie White. Like, Frida is definitely Carrie's great-great-great-great-great-grandma.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, calling it now. This is a prequel to the Brian De Palma classic.
I will say, because this is a movie that I don't think we've actually talked about much. Maybe it was like one of the first episodes, but this reminded me almost immediately of The Devil's Bath.
Yeah.
If you remember that movie. 2 hours in length, but it's the same.
I didn't see that one.
It follows not the same, but like the same elements of.
Christ, that's like back like episode like
3 or 4,
something like that. Yeah.
Devoted wife, trying to please her husband, can't conceive, doing all the things, quote unquote right, still being burned at the stake for not. And this kind of just goes in 2 separate directions, and I like this one a lot more.
Yeah.
Heresy is very concise. It's very... You get what...
No fat. So lean.
Yeah.
It's so lean.
Everything has a purpose in what you're... in what it is wanting to show you.
And if you want, like, just to be just steeped in this folk horror, foggy wood, wet, damp vibe. Like,
But it's not miserable. It's not
It's
miserable.
not miserable.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
yeah,
and it's scary.
gorgeous.
But
That's the biggest
it's
thing.
tantalizing and taboo and so interesting.
But talk about like telling by showing, right? Not by telling. Like it in an hour, in 61 minutes, like it imbues its symbols with all the meaning that you want to make it satisfying. Like it opens on a cross. It then transitions beautifully from these slow zoom out pans until we're like watching this poor woman, praying and hiding her menstruation, and we don't know if it's because it's her first or if there's some other reason. We come to find that like
Carrie started the same way.
right, yeah, it sure did. Holy shit, there you go.
Yep.
So like again, this is just like.
I also feel like, again,
Hitting
show
everything you
don't
want.
tell. At no point did anybody ever say, the woods are evil, don't go in the woods.
Well, they
Well,
did
they-
say
they
the
kind
woods
of say
They didn't get
keep
to it
eating
until
women.
They didn't say anything until like the fucking like back half of the movie. So like
No.
They
No?
did touch
established
it.
early.
Did they?
Well, also
That's why the cross is on the edge of the woods.
Yeah,
that
they'll go
part.
in
Well,
there,
that's-
it kills
that's what
women,
I
it
thought
eats
was,
women.
like,
what they
that
say
it's all
later is
environmental
that no one
storytelling.
comes back from the woods,
They-
but
yeah,
they've
yeah.
established before then.
yeah.
Because not only is she a freak for not getting pregnant, she's a freak because
She came back.
from the woods unscathed.
Yeah.
That's when
And
it
that's
starts,
when
yeah.
That's when the
But
dichotomy.
Eno didn't come back, and
But boy, that discovery was.
Yo, talk about a good kill.
Also-
Talk about
okay,
a good
so
design.
Hannibal aesthetics. man.
oh my god, yeah. In direct contrast to the whistle, this
That is my
had
design.
practical effects that were in it that were
yeah.
They were-
slamming.
So good.
2 deaths. Only 2.
Only 2.
We only see 2.
We only see 2. I think there was another one.
So
that was
satisfying, very cool.
hinted
But, like-
towards, but yeah.
But also,
there's
that's not
plenty
to
of
say,
death.
like,
No, it is- if
more
you-
deaths the better. Like, if your
A lot
death
of shitty men get got.
Yeah.
if your death has weight to it, it's gonna work.
And so many questions I have about this, but I don't even care. It's one of those, like, I was left wondering about some stuff, but I do not care.
Because your questions were at the end, and not you figuring, not you justifying why
I'm
things are
talking about the
happening along
discovery
way.
of Eno. Is when they discover Eno and like he's still looking around and like breathing and his heart is beating and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This man is inside out in pieces.
So I always complain about the bad kind of vague, where I feel like it's just like, we didn't want to think about it. Like,
No.
you figure it out. This is the good kind of ambiguous.
Yes.
Right? This is like the right kind of mysterious
This is
tension.
almost on the edge of cosmic horror where it's like, I do not know.
Yes.
This is unknowable.
Or I was gonna say, it's just folk horror at its rawest.
Yeah.
You know something's in the
the
wood.
folk
You
eldritch horror type thing.
by this point in the film, you've kind of got an idea of what it looks like
I was gonna
because
say,
it was
Such great creature design.
Creature design,
The whole
beautiful.
twiggy thing, but
It-
then, like, depending on, like,
like
The
how
walking
it wants
creepy.
it to prevent how it wants to present itself. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
presents
well,
differently
in the
to different.
distance, it's a creepy twig monster that's moving all creepy and weird.
Oh,
but
and
then
then
once
they
it
did
gets
that
close
cool
up, she's just
single
gorgeous.
pan behind the tree thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, this is.
I love that.
But then
Oh.
you close up on her, and she changes into something much more pleasing.
And
like,
she
whatever.
she
It's
almost somewhat mimics Frida's like
Vibe.
aesthetic. Almost, it's like she had similar haircut, similar length and everything, but it was like it's blonde now.
That's what I mean, though.
She's
You
all
really
pale.
walk the line of like, is this a threat? Is this going to be helping our
Yeah,
hero?
friend or
Or,
foe.
and
Yeah,
it's very cool.
so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And it
And-
made sense, even though it wasn't predictable, like you
Yeah.
were saying. And that's another mark for like, a 4-star for me, which
And
this
we
was.
never truly saw what happened to Eno. We saw just the result of what happened to Eno, but we saw what happened to Hiko, her husband,
yeah, remind me.
when we see him back up against the tree and
Well, I
get
was gonna say, we should-
peeled like
well,
a fucking banana.
Oh yeah. Okay, so there were 3 deaths then.
So spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, spoiler territory. They go searching. For
60
her in
minutes,
the
man.
wo- They
60
go searching
minutes.
for her in the woods, and the woods fight back.
Again, I wouldn't want to, kind of give away the ending, but it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Very worth checking out, especially for not only like what happens literally, but in a more, it gets like dreamy and.
I feel like me saying peeled like a banana doesn't have any actual stake in it. You're gonna go, oh, I want to watch this now because I want to see what he's talking about.
But
I was also
the
talking about
the dreamy sequence was the scene that I absolutely loved.
very cool visuals.
Because again, We got like an underwater type thing going on again, but it was different and it was cool and it was changed and there was like the ink and the drops and the water swirling and the smoke. So sick.
I thought it was very well done.
This was every minute of this 61-minute movie was so cool to look at, so cool to listen to. Like, this was like, sound was on, script was on, actors were on, like, cinematography on, special effects on. This was, if I had to letterbox this one's getting like a fucking 4.5, maybe a 5. Like, this was good.
And that's what I mean, because like, what more could you ask of this? I
couldn't improve it. I could not improve it if you told me to sit down and like change something and make it better. I can't. It's good.
That's why, like, it could be like, maybe past a 4-star for me as well. But yeah.
Which is shocking because on
say a 4,
IMDb it's a 6.3 out of 10. Blows my mind.
On what you said?
It's a
IMDb?
6.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's not bad. Like, most things that are like, that do well, are successful and seen like positively are, I think, like 6, 7. It's rare that things are like 8 or above unless it's like.
I fucking hate you.
Me?
For the podcast listeners out there, Claudio did a thing.
You heard what he said. He said 6, 7.
Oh, I did. How dare you?
But I was very. I mean, I feel like this is one of those things where, like, if it's not for you, it's not for you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, you
this
can't.
is steeped in folk horror. If you don't like folk horror,
You can't ignore its.
I was gonna say, other folk horror things I feel like lose most audiences in the pacing. It's always very dry. It's always very slow. It's always a lot of build up.
Which
this kind
admittedly
of kicks in immediately.
First time I watched The Witch takes a long time to get going.
Yeah.
Once it does,
that's
it
still
pays
beautiful,
off.
I think, to
Yeah.
look at, and there's other things pulling you in, across. But no, I hear.
But it's somebody chopping wood for like half a movie.
Sure.
Final Fantasy.
So like, I didn't mean to cut you off, Claude.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, some of the things that people have said in the ratings was like, very strange, very slow.
Jeez, no, this is not. This is at the
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
other end of slow folk horror.
I mean, for 60 minutes, like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But
there's
it
no
feels
fat.
weird to see like people say like it's nothing special, but like
That's wild. Nah.
I think it's. I mean, not to say that we're like the hoity-toity, apexes of film critique, but like it comes to a point where like.
I know what good shit is. I have good taste.
But
I'll
you know
get
how people
full of
review
myself.
things. There's like, I don't like it, and they're like, well, why don't you like it? No, I don't like it. That's what I mean. Not to say like,
It's got so few ratings on Rotten Tomatoes that they do not have a tomato meter or a popcorn meter on it.
Well,
There's
again,
not enough ratings.
Without
for it.
Shudder, we absolutely would not have seen this. This is a like Danish production.
This is a
based on a
hole-in-the-wall
UK
movie.
anthology. What'd you say?
this is a hole in a wall movie. Like you'd have. It's not something you'd find
Right.
Oh,
so-
just cause.
Yeah, if you hit fucking the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, it is all like 7 out of 10, fucking like 4 out of 5. Like everybody loves this fucking 10 out of 10.
So I'm saying like 6 out of 10 on IMDb is like generally pretty darn good.
It is an A+. And
It's at least a B plus, I'd say, honestly, or at least a solid B. Whereas anything below a 6, you're kind of rolling the dice on a C plus or below.
This one's good. I have to quote this one. This is from Sam P. 5 out of 5 stars. Folk horror done right. No jump scares, no franchise safety net, just creeping, suffocating dread built with patience.
And good character.
I feel like that kind of wraps up in a nice, cute little bow.
Oh, and purpose too. I forgot that.
Hell
part,
yeah.
Porpoise.
Written based off the Dutch legend of the White Widow. Watch Heresy.
Available on Shudder.
However, our final movie was less than obscure. It was actually making a lot of headlines
Yeah,
for a lot of reasons.
Joe, we're over here. Gonna do the next one? Gonna do the next segment?
I know.
We're into the next segment, yes. We are talking about the 2025 film directed by Ben Leonberg, directed, produced, and written by Good Boy.
And shot by.
Good job, Claudio.
How dare you?
This was your pick, so feel free to set us up before we knock it the fuck down.
Whoa! I will Paula Abdul the fuck out of this.
we know.
I will debate it that it gets at least a 3 from you.
It's
If it gets a
No,
2.5,
no, we can't say
oh yeah,
3.
no, give me a 3.5.
3.5.
Give me a 3.5. Because you said 3 is worse than the 2.5, and I refuse
Well,
for it
I'll
to
tell
be.
you what. I was saving this for this moment, but I couldn't even rate it.
Did you finish it?
Did you DNF
Sure
it?
didn't. I DNF'd it after about halfway through, and I'll tell you why when we get there. But you guys go first.
Whoa!
This is history being made right now. Like,
Ma,
Joe does not DNF anything.
Ma, get the
My
fucking...
wife had the same reaction. She was like, "Wow, good for you."
Even if you
Whoa, I'm
even
gonna
if
be-
you despise something that you're watching, you still finish it out.
I try.
You literally said, fuck Claudio in particular.
No, but I
I
I'll
thought
be
I
able
had
to
a heart
explain. Don't
palpitation the
worry.
other day. I was like, "Ah!" And I didn't know where it
was
came.
me.
I didn't know where it came from.
Me.
It was you closing it before you.
Look, I'll tell you what. I got halfway through and made an executive decision. I'll explain why when we
Okay.
get there.
Okay,
but that's
I think I understand.
wanna
We'll,
let guys-
we'll get to the lore of it. I know where you're gonna go, and I'm just
Same.
I'm
Feel
so,
free to call me out before, see if you're ready.
No,
no.
I want you to have your time. This is your moment.
I'm gonna guess
Have
that.
it.
I'm gonna guess ahead of time before you
That's
tell
what I'm
us
saying. Yeah.
that
So
there was roughly 24 minutes left in the movie, and you shut it off.
No, I think I got a little bit ahead of the worst of it, but yeah, no.
Okay.
Because I knew what was coming. And I knew what was coming, and I
So-
just opted out.
It is not a secret among us that I love dogs. I love them. They're the best things in the entire world.
Who doesn't among us?
I'm wearing my pug shirt. This was planned, but
I have
seeing the trailer.
I have dog tattoos. Like I'm right there with you.
But seeing the trailer
but I
for
still love
this, seeing the articles on it, that it was a horror movie from the perspective of a dog.
That's all I needed to know.
And
Great idea.
I was already hooked because the concept, the thought process, the history of dogs in horror, not so much like, being fodder, but so much like, dogs are very perceptive.
Do you
and
know
pets
where the director said he got the idea?
poltergeist.
I was going to say so sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just stepping on your...
Poltergeist?
Fuck off. But I really thought that would have been a great, innovative thing to be like, well, pets are very intuitive to things that people can't see. Let's really lean into that.
And also, anybody who's ever been around a dog has seen a dog stare
into the distance.
Yeah, stare into the corner of a room, and there
Which is
had
in
to-
the script.
There
They
is a
mention
part
this.
of your brain that goes, "They're seeing something right now."
So based on that trope that you
Yeah.
see in Poltergeist of the dog kind of noticing things ahead of time, that's essentially where this premise came from.
Yes, and so
And it doesn't get much farther than that. Sorry.
I am happy that it wasn't like a fucking Charlie Brown situation where it was like we see everything from the dog's perspective. So it's like everybody
yeah,
talking is like wah 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 wah.
That would have been a
Wah,
little
wah,
too
wah,
silly.
wah, wah.
Well, no, but it does fade out.
It does,
You don't
yeah.
really ever hear the humans talk too much. You get a gist of their conversation of whatever they're ranting about, and then you kind of fade away as the good boy does, or
Indy.
Indy as he's known, named after Indiana Jones. Did you guys catch them watching Raiders at the beginning?
the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever, beautiful.
What a the gorgeous dog.
And so-
this
and
is a
truly-
gorgeous dog. And also, do we know the name of the other dog?
Oh, yes I do. Yes I do.
I
Oh my
want to
God,
say
the
his name
ghost.
was like Lucky or something like that.
Bandit.
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 Beautiful fucking golden retriever. Beautiful.
Bandit played Max.
Loved that dog. I grew up with golden retrievers. That hit something in the core of me. I saw him with the little red bandana, and I went, "Oh God!"
Really quick, we should say, just for anyone wondering, right? Because if, like us, so Claudio picked this, and me and Glenn immediately were like, "Hey, by the way, what are you getting us
Yeah.
into?
Oh, yeah.
Is this dog going to be
This-
okay?" Character, like I'm
And
sure the animal
This was
is.
a conversation that's been going on for like a year now.
Very, very
You
important.
saw it and you were like, "This is a good movie," and me and Joe were like, "Oh, I don't know, dude.
And-
I'm scared. I'm scared."
And
of it."
Claudio let us know, as I'm just about to let listeners know, the
Yes.
dog is fine.
The dog is put in perilous situations because it is horror, but the dog is not abused. The dog is not.
And obviously,
hurt.
that's kind of assumed like that because again, the writer, director, cinematographer, blah blah blah, everything. It's just him and his wife, one other cinematographer, I believe, that were on set for 3 years filming this thing with the two dogs or whatever. And the one other actor who I think was that Larry Fessenden. Is that the grandpa?
Yes, it
I think so, yeah.
Which cool cameo. We all love our horror daddies of the 2000s. But what was I gonna say? Damn it!
We need a hard doggy shirt, hat now.
Something about how You were talking about how it was 3 years to film it. The dog was not put in any perilous situations. Which
Oh,
is
yeah, that was
Yeah,
our
we had
first
to flat
question.
out ask, yeah.
And that's
yeah.
totally fine. I respect that. I'm one who, I don't like seeing animal, pain or torture in a film, period, or in real life at all.
That's
So-
what will kickstart a DNF for me. Is like if there is
Right.
unjust killing or hurting of animals in a film, I will DNF it.
And like it's
You
a
don't have to worry about that if you're trying to watch, but like, but
you should worry because.
But like I said, when I'm gonna try to bite my tongue, but like when I get there, like I'll say what I had took issue with.
So yes, I thought this would be a really cool thing to also tell you guys that ahead of time. So that's one less anxiety on your brain watching the film. A lot of neat things they did with a dog's perspective that tells itself through the movie.
Cinematography was beautiful.
The cinematography, I felt the sound design was really nice.
Sound design was fucking great.
It's a very limited space. They're in the woods. They're at the
Atmospheric,
house,
though.
and
Super atmospheric.
and
Good
that's
setting, good effects.
That's where it is. The ending, I was like, eh.
Well, before we even get to any
Yeah.
stuff, I would say the creature, the little bit of creature effects, because so what happens
Yes,
is,
yes.
I thought they looked good, but so what happens is it's meant to be like, oh, okay, so dogs notice ghosts before folks do. Okay, let's get it from the dog's perspective. Cool. So they want to do ostensibly a haunted house story, where kind of the dog is the protagonist. Okay, and so they establish a spooky house, ghosts.
They established some lore about said house at one point as well. They
Grandpa
do,
died.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
Grandpa
yeah,
died
and-
here, but anybody else that's lived in that house has only lived there for a week because they were chased out for some fucking reason.
Okay, so yeah, we have
Grandpa
that.
couldn't keep any of his dogs in the house. They kept running away.
Classic horror movie stuff. So again, the first act of this worked really well for me. I thought it was innovative, creative, well executed, good setup. Please continue.
God.
Because then
you're gonna build me up to let me down, Buttercup.
well, so hey, that's how I felt. So we had our first
Oh,
act
the Temptations!
that set things up very well. Well done. And then second act for me, okay, we're seeing not just so that's where I start taking issue. So we're not seeing the ghost antics ramp up so much as we're seeing our protagonist, the good boy, Indy's owner, his human, Adam, is that his name in the
Todd.
character? Todd, excuse me.
Shane Jensen, who played
Todd is and this is not a spoiler, it's part of the setup.
No, it
Todd
happens.
is,
You
They-
learn it in the
it's
first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's repeated pretty not too over the top.
It's not blatantly, but they do lay it out.
But he's dying essentially of a chronic lung disease, some sort of respiratory issue. He's, a chronic disease, a chronic.
Yeah, he
syndrome
almost assuredly has lung cancer or something.
Yes.
It's never specified, but you again, shows not tells, so credit there. But that's what I thought was most developed, and again, I don't appreciate snuff films. So often I do feel like I get tricked into movies that are you think it's gonna be a fun, scary genre movie, and instead you're just gonna watch a character die, and it's about mortality, except it's not really all that artful because it's not saying much about said death, except apparently, again, we could get into third act, spoilers if you want, but I
Okay.
thought there was way more work done on watching shitty lung Todd die slowly as he continues to not treat Indy as well as he should be treated, and it's just like a dick to his sister on the phone.
Yeah.
As I
just didn't give a shit.
I mean, yeah,
I just wanted to see the dog survive and not be too messed up, and thankfully that is the case, but
is it?
nothing else really happens.
Yeah.
So with
I like the paranormal activity that occurs. It does ramp up in a sense.
Because I stopped watching about halfway, so then if you guys
Where
want
did
to
where did you leave?
Tell me where.
Okay, so here's the thing. I stopped watching about halfway because, again, I was avoiding this movie because I heard good things, that it was technically sound, which I agree with it is, that it was executed well, that I agree that it was to a point, but again, I don't think the script was solid or developed enough for it to be a full-on thing, and so that's why I think it makes more sense as a sizzle reel for this guy's technical prowess, but it's not really a full-on story or script or whatever. That's my main issue.
that's the hidden theme of.
That's why I said an hour ago because I kind of saw it coming. But so I got all that about halfway through, and so the whole thing with him dying of the chronic lung issue just kind of hit hard for me because like I just don't like thinking about that stuff because I've just whatever.
sure.
I don't want to think about that stuff.
And that's absolutely valid. Again, we all have our things that like we, you know.
And I was
if
already so empathizing with the dog, with Indy. Like I was already so worried about our good boy, even without like knowing that they were like I'm sure they're safe and healthy and happy and whatever. But I just nonetheless was not enjoying watching him die or watching the dog be scared. Like I hated all of it. I was taken out of the narrative. Like I wasn't enjoying it. Like even if it's done technically well enough, like I just was not into it. So I was like, all right, I'm halfway through. I don't care about spoilers. I'm gonna go read the plot summary on Wikipedia, which is what I did, and I dipped out right before. The dog finds Todd banging his head against the basement door, and then he goes back to bed. But then it happens again, and he gets lost or something, right? Or he gets sucked into the basement, and so the dog goes outside to get the old man neighbor, but then gets caught in a trap.
Yeah.
And so the dog gets locked outside eventually by Todd, and then as he's outside overnight, it almost gets attacked by the demon, which, what the fuck do you even need a demon for? If he's already just dying by lung cancer anyway?
If I may.
Like, did he also blow the death whistle? Like,
if I may, because
please do,
with
because this is where
So you
like
dipped out around Doghouse.
yeah.
before Doghouse.
Before Doghouse.
Right before Doghouse, I was like, I don't need to, and it was
So
the right
you
call
didn't,
for me.
yeah.
If I may, and
Because everything I read on the plot summary seemed, I was like, well, what the shit were we even doing here?
maybe I'm on the defense committee. Maybe, you know, I believe this to an extent because it makes sense with what we know about the grandpa. That while dogs can see what we can't, they can, you know, how reliable is a dog as a storyteller in the sense that Todd's health monster manifests in this beast that the dog can see, but the owner cannot. I say this because the grandpa had these same complications, and we are presumed to believe that Bandit, or Max, who was the grandpa's dog, was hurt by this entity, when in reality, Grandpa died of something of similar case, and the dog just stayed there because that was his owner.
So again, spoilers. So here's the thing. You learn throughout, even like the first half before I dipped out, like it's very well established, like, yeah, dogs never survive. No one can stay here very long. The grandpa died. He got weird, ambiguously, according to the sister. No details there. Okay. But so, if the whole thing is like, okay, dogs are like the canary in the coal mine and they see things ahead of time, like, how is this time going to be different than all the other times we've been told about? And it's not. Other than Indy survives. But not through any grace of, honestly, the dog doesn't do anything to really survive, right? The Todd doesn't get any forewarnings.
Not the Todd.
So,
But like, okay, if you're, like, this is what I'm trying to say. If the whole setup is that, like, okay, everyone keeps getting eaten by the house and it's cursed or whatever, how is this time going to be different? Why are we watching this movie and
to
nothing's really
see if the
nothing
for
really
me,
changes?
It
Like,
was
the-
that can the dog break the cycle? Is the cycle even breakable?
Yes.
But
Did the dog break the cycle?
no. So spoilers,
yeah.
spoiler territory. After the doghouse, I mean, you read this thing. So like he comes in, saves the owner, but the owner's already succumbed.
Yeah.
And is then pulled to death's door, quite literally. And that's where they have their exchange of departing.
So Todd says, "Hey, buddy, thanks, but you can't save me from this." And okay, I get the symbolism of accepting death in that like
And
exchange.
then the sister
but,
finds
like,
him
yeah.
the sister thinks that Max is skeleton, grandpa's dog.
Right. Okay.
Thinks that is Indy, but she still calls to get him out of the cellar.
Right.
And that's how that's the difference, is that
So
no
the
one's-
difference is that the sister was around. You know what I
No.
mean? Like
Well,
that's due
All right,
to no
so
merit of
there
anyone.
was something that I had picked up on with watching it as well, is that like Todd explains at one point that the house had belonged to his grandfather, but it had been in his family for generations.
6 generations.
So
Grandpa
there
says on
is
the
a
page.
generational tie of something to this house with the family. There is a paranormal thing that ties them to that place. And then with having this portal that exists in their basement, I think that there is some sort of tie between the family and this portal, which it has something to do with them, because he explicitly says when they go to the graveyard, most of my family is buried here. They all died pretty young.
Yeah.
So it's like, it almost evokes like some sort of a curse on either the land or in the house or on the family itself, which
Like,
puts
so
me
barely.
in. It's not so much like a paranormal story as much as it is touching into folk horror. And I kind of believe it to feel like along that line.
So paper thin though, like so bare minimum in my opinion.
But with one of the things that I was like I was unnerved the entire time I watched this movie. There was one point that the dog started yelping and like Chell like sat up from like a dead sleep because she thought it was a real thing happening in the house.
And that's ultimately...
And I was like, it's a dog, it's on the movie, go back to sleep.
That's why I was avoiding this from the get-go, because again, like as great as the dog is, and I'm sure they did, a great job and we're happy and fed and not maltreated at all. Like I'm not trying to imply that, but like same thing with like kid actors.
Yeah, the
Like,
acting
you're
is
putting-
real to a point because it's like you can't not pick up a dog and go, wah!
Well, there's that.
And make
but
it
there's,
fake.
At least with a kid, you can kind of explain, hey, we're playing pretend right now. And even then, it's like you're still putting a kid in front of a camera and doing weird stuff around them. And so, like, I've really come to be, like, not into a lot of, like, young kids on camera, just in general. Like, I don't know. Between that and just, like, same thing with the dog. Like, this dog had to be filmed for, like, 3 years and, like, I don't know. I was like I said earlier, I was taken out of the narrative. Like you were saying, I was tense the whole time, and usually that's a good thing. But like I wasn't tense because I was in the story. I was tense because I was out of it, and I was just like, worried.
No, and I'm right there with you. I was tense the entire time. A, because of the story, and B, mostly because I was like scared for our titular character, like our main protagonist, and I like. It took me a little bit to think about it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I finished this movie and I was like, this was depressing as fuck. This was such a sad ending. There was no, like...
That's why I was like, I didn't want to watch a snuff film.
We watch a lot of really sad shit anyway. It's like, ultimately, a lot of times, a lot of new horror is sad at the end. Like
our favorite movie of the year still so far is The Bone
Still
Temple, which is
fucking
all
sad.
about mortality
Yes.
and accepting death. But, like, I feel like that earns the sadness, whereas this was just bleak.
Yeah, it was just bleak. Like, I did, like, literally just get done watching this, and I was like, I need to watch, like, 2 episodes.
I just
of
thought
Futurama
about
and
every
just, like,
time
calm
I was
down
ever
from it.
less than kind to, like, my pets. Like, every time I was less than patient with my cat is just, like, the only stuff I was thinking about while watching this movie. And, like, it was just a bummer experience.
But, like, the thing that kind of brought me back around to that, though, is, like, here I am being emotionally invested. Like, my physical self, my brain, and my heart tied to the character on the screen in front of me and feeling visceral emotion, and I'm scared for them, even though I know at the end, the spoiler, they are going to be fine. Is that not horror? Is that, like, that is evoking
you're right.
feeling that I have not felt watching a movie in some time. Because now I could watch the most grisly shit, and I'm so... What do you call it? Like, I'm just so dull.
Well, here's the thing, like...
Oh, well, X character is, like, getting chased by an axe murderer and all of her friends are dead and she's screaming in a basement and, like, the thing's gonna get her. Is she gonna make it out on the other side? Is she gonna be the final girl? I don't really care anymore. But I care about that dog.
But see, that's why it's a cheat for me. Because you're using a dog and you're not... So you're like, I don't need to have a script. Because you're going to feel bad for the dog, because of course you are. It's a dog.
I hard to disagree.
Yeah.
I feel like it's...
Okay, so what were you saying then?
I feel like it's not a cop-out. I feel like it is a creative and smart way of subverting the expectation that we have of being like going into a movie and having a connection to a character. This is very meta, and this understands that, like, at least the thought process was of them going, well, you don't really care about people in movies as much as you used to, so why don't we put someone in there that you are going to care about on another level?
That's blaming decades of bad writing. And that is the definition of a cop-out for me. It's like, I can't make people care about human characters, so I'll use my dog. And it's like, oh, that just means you can't write.
I see more as more of an experiment than anything. Like,
I'm not saying don't experiment. Yeah. I think this is a great experiment. I don't think it's like a fully realized movie. Mm-hmm. But also, I do think it's like a little bit of like It's a little bit cheap. Like, I think it's clever, but at the same time, I still wish that I was, like, into a narrative as opposed to just worrying about a dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it had a baby with a gun to its head the whole time.
I felt...
I'm going to feel harrowed, and I'm going to be invested, I'm going to be
Sure.
worried, but that doesn't make a horror movie to me.
No. I truly, like, I don't want to say I enjoyed it, but it's like I did like the way that the storytelling was being presented of, like, the contention with Todd and his sister and living in this place because he's given up everything. I was like, I felt like that whole thing was very actualized and thought out.
It wasn't just like a matter-of-fact thing. It's like the playing field was set, and these are all things...
It's one of those, within the first 5 minutes, you understand the peril that you're getting into here. Like, this man is very, very, very sick.
And sister and brother were going tit for tat from the jump.
And
or actually not. She finds him.
Yeah. In a way, too, it's like you could almost look at it in a sense that Todd is the dog that's injured and backed into a corner here. That's why he's lashing out. That's why he's snapping at people. He does not mean it in any fashion. He has just been backed into a corner and is scared. And it's the same thing as when Indy gets scared of the hand touching him and he bites Todd. It's like, he did not mean to do that, but it is the case.
It is the human nature of startled, you're either going to run or
fight or flight.
Defend.
Yes. And I think it was like, if I'm going to poke holes in things, I think it's really silly that, like, Todd didn't think it was weird. There's a fucking portal to hell in his basement. Yeah, you didn't think to look at that? It smells like death.
So, well, that was my thing about the finale, was like, the portal only showed up post-death. Or post...
I mean, the portal existed before, though. Do you remember when Indy goes missing, and then he finds Indy behind the door in the basement, and he's covered in mud, and he smells like death? The ghost got him and pulled him into the hole, which is the same thing that
was that
happened
the same
to Max.
design? Was that the same...
So how'd he get out?
Huh?
How'd he get out?
So the thing pulls him into the hole, and it's similar to Max. He was pulled into the hole and let go of. Because I think it was just like, this creature is this entity.
What made him let go?
I don't know. I think he just let go.
So my thing is, I forget if the door design was there the whole time.
They never showed you the basement. They didn't show you the actual basement.
Yeah.
Only in, like, flashbacks and clips, and then at the very end. I did truly like how they did ghost dog wandering through the house, as well as regular, like, ghost apparition moving through the house. That was really cool.
But hey, follow me. I got a fun bandana. Let's go up the stairs. Like, I was like, I dug all that. Yeah, that worked well.
I also loved the way that they let Indy explore a scene. That it was like, I would love to know how the fuck they shot that. Like, they must have had static cams placed all over the
it's
place.
in New Jersey.
It's funny.
Really?
In a house in, not Harrisburg.
Harding Township.
Interesting.
It's actually funny. So at the end of the film in theaters, I don't know if they did it at Shudder during the credits, but they showed, like, behind the scenes clips of how and it was like either like they had like a treat that was aimed in a direction to have, or like they would make like they have like a sound like a.
Oh yeah, the clicker.
Yeah, just to like you know, just and like
it was so cool to just like see him explore.
And for Indy to be an
setting.
untrained, like, that's why it took 3 years. Like, Indy is not a show dog, is not a trained dog. So they were working with him with, like, you know, if he's tired, of course, the day's
Could
over.
have fucking fooled me, because god damn it, he felt like he was acting 150%.
I mean, for Indy, that wasn't what was it? I forget where I saw it, but that wasn't the first choice of the dog. But it was the way that the dog, its stare, was what sold it. Or there it is. Described Indy of having an intense, unblinking stare and expressive movements that would make him a good fit. But he wasn't the lead when this was built.
It was when it came up.
When it was building itself.
I also want to throw some shade at the writer, director, actor, everybody. I want to throw some shade at them for the intro bit when we were given all of the we got the dog to now type thing, because goddamn it, fuck you guys, I got puppy fever now. It's like, he's so cute. I love him so much. I would die for this dog.
Ben Leonberg, director, writer, producer. Cinematography by Wade Grebnoel. The visual effects from so many lovely people, and like we just love Indy. At the end of the day, I appreciate these things for existing. We wouldn't have
even if they don't land the mark, I'm glad that they were made. Mm-hmm. Even if they don't.
It was, like I said, like you have to experiment. You have to do something
don't
different.
get the
and
wild.
This was
I'm
different.
not saying,
Oh,
I'm not
no,
saying
yeah.
don't take swings.
No.
I'm
This
just
isn't
saying
a shade at, like,
sometimes going to be a
sport.
strike. Like,
For
or
sure.
whatever, you know.
But I appreciate them nevertheless for how they're.
Again, this is technically very well executed. I love the one shot where the camera kind of zooms on Indy's face and eye.
Yeah, when you get
and then
those close up to the eyes.
in the reflection of his eye, the like mud monster, the tar, whatever, was like that, and like you just like and then it whatever cuts. But that was a very cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is very well done.
I
just
also
think
love
it was only
every time that he was
half the
stirred
movie.
from his sleep, and he would like wake up and then like go back to bed or something. It was like that was.
It's all.
I also love the dog cam where it was like bouncing next to him as he was running through the woods.
Yeah.
I was
Very
like,
Evil
this is
Dead.
fun. Yes.
Yeah, but it was really cute, those behind the scene clips, because like a lot of it was like break, and then the dog would just jump on them like, yay, we're done.
I'm having
And
a
then-
great time.
But like,
Every time he went under his legs to do that move, I was like,
yeah.
Oh my god!
safe, it's
Anytime he was
okay.
like sitting on the side of the bed and just slapping the shit out of the dog, I was like,
Yeah.
"That is his dog.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is his dog."
It's really nice.
I believe the fantasy 112% that it's like that was his dog. The other thing that I want to talk about that I thought was so fucking cool.
well, you know, it was his dog. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's like
else is so fucking cool?
in the movie I bought the fantasy, but it was like me being who I am. I was like, no, that is his dog. I thought it was so smart and cool how they decided that we are not going to show anyone's face unless they're dead. Which was like the moment that they cut to Todd's face, I was like, fuck, dude. Fuck!
You knew he was gonna die.
I knew he was, but it was like the way that they slowly unveiled it. It was like, I got teary-eyed a little bit. I was like, this is upsetting. And you feel that loss. Like, you feel it viscerally. And it was like, I'm going to give it a higher rating because I did feel something. Was I unnerved? Did it make me uncomfortable? Yes, but that's why we watch what we watch. We put ourselves in the place of feeling emotion. That's really what horror is doing. It's to make you feel. Mm-hmm. It's not any different from us watching.
It's about the human
Adventure
connection,
movies.
or in this case, just a connection with who's in front. And for the 9th Astra Film Awards winner of a Best Performance in a Horror Thriller, we love Indy.
What a great dog.
The first
A good boy.
non-person to win a horror award.
Did you guys have an idea for ratings for this?
4.
We'll do the letterbox 5. He's 4. Joe, it's low.
I mean, if
It
it's a
would've been-
DNF, I don't know.
Would have been
That's
2.5 probably.
2.5. Okay.
Better than a 3. I'll take it.
It's 2.5 with an asterisk because of the DNF.
Yeah.
But like I get
That's
it.
why I wouldn't. Yeah.
No, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
It's one of those like if I didn't see Overtone in a theater, I probably would have shut it off.
Undertow.
Yeah.
Undertone?
Absolutely.
Undertone.
Yeah, but no, like that's one of those things. Like we know what
Another
our
2.5,
like points
technically
are.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's there, then
I'm probably sitting at 3.5, 4. 3.75.
round it up.
Yeah.
Round it up, you coward.
So it's like we well, I mean, I think it's cool that like we were able to, on this like we got a cross section of like a little bit of everything, because there's always something for somebody on Shudder.
It is definitely something that truly has like way more breadth and width to the horror genre than the normies might assume.
Absolutely.
And the live channels were always like one of my favorite features because not like so few streamers provide that. And I like part of how I discovered a lot of weird horror genre stuff was just like flipping through channels at midnight or 1 a.m. or whatever. And like you don't get that anymore with streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But with those live loop streaming channels, like you can kind of mimic that.
Dude, at
behavior.
any number of time that we've been hanging out and we're just like, well, what's on the channel?
just do a
What do
random-
we got?
yeah.
What do we got?
We used to do Shudder Roulette.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it was so much fun.
I was gonna say a fun fact for the people listening, but it's not. This isn't a live recording. Heresy's actually playing tonight on Shudder TV, so I think that's really cool. That
That is
quite
really
literally,
funny,
like the
yeah.
newer things are things that are just put into. I love Shudder.
So if you were gonna do like these 3 movies in a lineup, I think it's clear that it's the Heresy's at the top.
For me, it's literally like this, and it's Good Boy Heresy.
It's neck and neck,
Yeah,
really.
it would be like a 4 and a 3.99 only because I would want Good Boy to be above.
Okay.
But they would be side by side if
And
they
Whistle's
were.
somewhere down here.
Where's Whistle?
Where Whistle go?
Where Whistle go?
Where Whistle go?
So how does it shake out for you? Like, how do you see it with like a DNF? Like, how do you look at this rating?
Is it still better than Whistle?
Well,
as
like,
a
I
DNF?
would-
Was it
you
still
know.
better than Whistle?
I would, yeah, because it was definitely, so white weaving. Heresy is up here.
Vita Vivin.
And then down here is Whistle, and then I'd say like right above it is Good Boy, because it was like more ambitious and more creative and certainly more innovative and like all the good things.
I
That,
will
that
say you took the time to learn characters' names.
I messed up. But there was two characters and I remember them both: Vera and Todd, and Grandpa, and Indy and was it Rex?
We didn't even talk
I
about
don't know,
the sister.
old man that lives down the woods.
We didn't even
No, it's
talk
not
about the
it's not-
sister's
it's not a
name,
bandit
and you
dog.
threw Vera in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good indication moving forward. If he names someone by name, it's at least a
It was
two.
a- it
it's
was a
at least a
character.
3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still underdeveloped in my opinion, but yeah, no, I do consider it higher than I did Whistle, which just like aims low and still missed the mark. Like at least Good Boy aimed higher.
Do you guys have any closing remarks?
To reiterate, Shudder is $7.99. Not a sponsor, just a fan.
Not a sponsor, just a fan.
Very much happy that we got to show some love to the streaming service that
Yeah.
we use quite often.
Couple of Shudder originals in there. I don't think Good Boy was a Shudder original, was it?
So, actually, I love that I put these things in there because I just added production company and distribution. Independent Film Company was the distributor and Shudder.
Okay, cool. So kind of, half and half.
Yeah.
So Shudder's got tons of incredible and like the whole span, really. Like if you're looking for something good, you're looking for something bad, you're looking for something cool to put on. They got originals for it. They also have
Perhaps Psychomania.
Well, in the most recent like revamp of the OS, like the menu, like looking, they like have it now categories. Like so, if you go in, it's like creature feature, zombie, whatever.
Full.
Which is very cool. I don't know. I love
Queer.
categories.
yeah, Giallo, like
Yeah,
they, yeah.
Bava
And it gets
Giallo.
real specific, a lot of subgenres. So
And
again,
then-
you'll learn a lot. Like this is so like Shudder's awesome for
Yeah.
anyone that's like trying to educate themselves. Like
My favorite's the
through-
slashix section.
yeah.
For no particular reason. No, and I will also say that their original TV show programming that they're putting on, RIP to the drive-in. That is no longer,
yeah.
Joe Bob Briggs is no longer doing the drive-in feature, but
No, it's a big favorite.
I'm very much looking forward to the next season of Dragula.
More of Shudder's Horror's Greatest.
Horror's Greatest has
That
been
another lovely-
docuseries
so
was a lot of
enjoyable to watch.
So
fun.
interesting.
A lot of cool documentaries.
Also, just throwing it out there, you guys can have this one for free, Shudder. Put Grave Conversations on Shudder. You're already friends with David. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, they also have Queer for Fear. They also have, I believe, Horror Noir, which is all about queer horror and black horror, and fucking love it.
Yeah. Get Shudder. Go on Shudder. Watch Shudder. Give them your money. That'll about do it for us in the podcast downstairs. We hope you had as much fun as we did. You can catch up on previous episodes on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. I believe the one that came out before this one would be Carrie. I know. So go back and watch that one. Find out if you haven't seen our Carrie episode. Go see what we thought about Carrie. It ties in very nicely with Heresy.
Rita's granddaughter.
Yes. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us all your thoughts on the 3 movies that we talked about, or maybe some of your favorite Shudder originals. We'd love to hear your thoughts on things. We'd also like to thank our producer and tech wizard, Don, as well as Not Great Entertainment for all of the help setting up the pod. Take care of yourselves. Be a good boy. And until next time, stay out of the basement.
Ooh, get out of the basement. Get out. Come on. Get out.
Tied in with the movie.
Go on. Come on.
Bye.
Red the blood of the innocent.
Carpet?
want you to stop saying odd shit.
Party's over.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
I am your mother. Everyone you love around is dying.
This is a way of life, Master. Is it dead?
Prime time, bitch.
I worship Satan. Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
I can't believe I just fucking